Walmart Family Mobile just got even better. Better savings. Get unlimited plans starting at $24.88 a month. All powered by T-Mobile's nationwide network. Visit myfamilymobile.com to learn more. That's myfamilymobile.com. Always refer to the latest terms and conditions of service at myfamilymobile.com.
Blog Talk Radio.
Caution. The tea is hot. Blow it off first, okay? Dishing tea with Big Meach.
Hello, hello, hello. It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you know what time it is. I hope you have all of your comfort together because it's time to dish the tea. And you're dishing darlings with Big Meach.
Can't wait. Time to dish tea with Big Meach. Time to dish tea with Big Meach. Time to dish tea with Big Meach. Time to dish tea with Big Meach.
Darling. And hello, 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 hello. How art thou? It's another glorious day, my tea sippers, and you already know what time it is. Honey, I'm sure you have all of your crumpets together because, my darlings, it is time to dish tea, and you're dishing tea, darlings, with Big Meach. Yes, my darlings, we are doing... We have another special edition show for you that's coming up today. I'm very excited about this because, baby, we're about to go into something that is going to be, I feel, is revolutionary because what we have to offer in the world of music and stuff today, honey, I think that we have a lot that is left to be desired. And my guest today is going to take us onto the ins and outs of his journey and their journey in the music industry, and then we're going to talk about what's to come, okay? So I'm going to be a little unorthodox today because, number one, as you can see, I'm a little discombobulated because I'm trying to take my medicine. I'm drinking some ginger tea, some real ginger tea. I went and bought some ginger, sliced it up, and boiled it down, let it steep for like about an hour, and so I get rich and potent so that I'm trying to get myself together. So with this, my darling, this is going to be, just me. I'm not necessarily coming out of the bag, but y'all know who I am, okay? So having said that, let's go into this, and I'm going to say to you that if you have questions, if you want to really find out more about what's going on, honey, please feel free to call 347-205-9183. That's 347-205-9183. Press the number 1. Just press it one time. That lets me know that you have something to say, and I will bring you in at that appropriate time, okay? Also, please know that the tea room is open, so if you're listening by computer and want to come on in and to chime in with us, honey, you have to go in, sign up with the profile page, and that way you get to interact with us there. Now, right now it's just me, and that's fine, because I know this particular time is lunchtime or whatever for a lot of you, so hopefully you're enjoying your lunch and then sitting down with us and finna go to get some kikis in and carrying on as we go and do this particular thing. Now, let me say this, because nothing's changed about this. Dishing tea is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters that you hear on this program, they are not intended for children or anyone who is not mature and or responsible enough to handle the situations at hand. So your listening discretion is advised. I will repeat. Dishing tea with Big Meach is for mature audiences, and the language and or subject matters that you hear on this program, they are not intended for children or anyone who is not mature and or responsible enough to handle the situation at hand. So your listening discretion is advised. My darlings, we are coming to the close. I have 1 week left of my birthday season for 2015. I'm a fresh 45. So, honey, I've earned the right to every 3, 4, 5, 17, 56, 195 letter and or syllable word that comes out of my mouth. So, babies, I don't know what bag I'm coming out of. Just know that I'm coming out of one. And I don't give a damn, because none of you bitches will see me at anywhere. Whether I'm on the MARTA train, whether I'm on the airplane, whether I'm at the Dollar Tree or at Dollar Bills, wherever you see me, you will not come up to me and tell me that you've got demerits or you've gotten, hang-ups and stuff at your jobs or whatever because of something that I said, because you did not govern yourselves accordingly. So at this particular point, consider your asses warned, okay? And I mean that with every fiber of my being, okay? So, having said that, we do have a special announcement. And for those of you who are new to Dishing Tea, honey, you know I'm a playwright as well, and my play, No Time for the Pain, will be making its Atlanta debut this October. So October 23rd, 24th, and 30th. We have 4 shows planned for you, and so we have a number of things that we're doing so that we can raise our coin and our capital to make sure this is as successful as possible. First off, we do have our raffle tickets. So $1 can win you $200, okay? So please go to our website at www.dishingtea.com for more information on how you can participate. The drawing is going to be held live here on the show on May 6th, okay? So I'm going to go in, and whoever name I pull, I'm going to call you on the air, and announce the winners. Now, we do have 3 different prizes. The first prize is $200. That's the gold. Our silver prize is going to be is an artistic gift. Peter Jackson of 5 More Artists, who is also the executive producer of No Time for the Pain, is donating a piece of artwork for this particular raffle. So we do have an artistic gift. And the third gift is a mystery gift. Now, they won't tell me what it is because they know I'll end up telling y'all. So we have a mystery gift on the third prize. So the big money, the $200, honey, $1 can win you $200 at the very, very minimum. So, again, dishingtea.com for more information. If you are not in the Detroit area or the Atlanta area where we will be selling the tickets, having hard tickets, we do have virtual tickets, or the ability for you to put your name in the pot to win the $200. So you sit down there and you will send us your coin through the PayPal information. So if you give or donate $5 and say, I want to be included in the raffle, of course, that's 5 tickets that you bought, and we'll put your name into the thing 5 times, so that way you too can be a part of it, all right? So don't think because you're over in Germany or if you're in Italy or whatever that you can't participate, because you can. Everyone across the globe, honey, if you want to participate, you're more than welcome to. If gambling is not your thing and you don't want to do the gamble or whatever, we do have No Time for the Pain merchandise, where we have T-shirts and an 11x17 print of our logo. Also, it's on a 6x8 ceramic tile, as well as our tea mugs or coffee mugs or whatever. So each item is $20 plus $5 shipping and handling, so $25. Shirts are coming from sizes small to 4X. If you need a size larger than 4X, we can accommodate you. However, you do know the price is slightly higher. So one-sided T-shirts are $20, well, $25, which is shipping and handling. Double-sided T-shirts are $35. That's including your shipping. If you need sizes larger, just add $10. So it'll be $35 and $45. Okay, so that there is that. For No Time for the Pain. Again, all that information can be found at dishingtea.com, and you will be able to find out other ways that you can sponsor. If you want to get into our playbill, or if you want to come on as a monetary sponsor, there's other different ways that you can celebrate the art of live theater, okay? No Time for the Pain, honey. Shattered. Family ties are shattered and destroyed when fraternal twins Danielle and Eric confront one another on the issues of betrayal, infidelity, and HIV. What would you do if you found out that your fiancé of 7 years was having an illicit, adulterous affair with your twin brother for 5 of those 7 years? Your twin brother finds out that he's HIV positive. You find out that you're pregnant and HIV positive. Yeah, baby, that's what we're dealing with. That's one of the scenarios in No Time for the Pain, honey. It's there, and it's going to generate all kinds of discussion when this thing is over with, okay? So we got high drama at its finest, and I live for it, okay? So, having said that, now, as you guys know, this opening always takes me into that. Let me take a little commercial break. I'm going to have my sponsors come say something, and when we come back, we're going to sit back and have a wonderful, wonderful conversation with a young man who has made his onto the musical scene. Now, many of you may not know him by name. However, you know him for his works, okay? And when we come back, today's show, I titled, The Time Is Now for the Resurfacing of David Pic Conley. So when we come back, that's going to be the next verse that you hear along with mine. So let me have my sponsors say a couple of things, and when we come back, we're going to get into this thing, okay? So I will talk to you in just a few moments.
An educator, an entrepreneur, a poet, an artist. Sharon Williams Dean is Art by Sode, creating beautifully exquisite artwork for your home, business, gifts, or any special occasion. For more information, contact Art by Sode at 313-740-4904 or visit the gallery at www.artbysode.com. That's www.artbysode.com.
Double Exposure Media Relations is a full-service public relations, marketing, and artist development firm specializing in urban culture and lifestyle. Spearheaded by the Henry Hingers of hip-hop, Mr. Angelo Ellaby, Double Exposure serves to educate its clients about the dollars and cents of the music industry. For more information about Double Exposure Media Relations, call 201-224-6510. 201-224-6510. Double Exposure Media Relations.
If you are looking for irresistible, breathtaking art, you've come to the right place. At Sherwood Forest Art, we carry a large selection of paintings, masks, figurines, and sculptures of both modern, abstract, and representational styles. To see all of our art treasures, visit our showroom today at 19500 Livernois Avenue in Detroit, Michigan. For more information, call 313-340-0411. Sherwood Forest Art, where art talks to us in a language of its own.
And we are back. If you're just tuning in, I thank you for your love, your kindness, and your support. Right now, and if you want to join in on this conversation, please feel free to call in at 347-205-9183. That's 347-205-9183. And again, as I said on today's show, I call this The Time Is Now for the Resurfacing of Mr. David Pic Conley. Hey there, my tea sippers. Honey, we're going to read all of the tea leaves with this one, okay? And we're going to let this happen. Darlings, 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 we all have been waiting on that sign that the music was going to return to telling stories and being the voice for those who can't put their words or their groove together to tell what's on their hearts, right? Now, for many of us, as we were teenagers, that we were full of songs that we had that really expressed how we were feeling and dealing with life at that time. And my guest today is the founding member of one of those groups that spoke to us and for us, okay? When Surface had hit the scene, y'all remember Shower Me With Your Love, Happy, Closer Than Friend, and the many other jewels that became our language. This man was the creative force behind it. And now this man and his crew, they're about to resurface and let the magic begin again as our language has become more sophisticated. We're a little bit more experienced and wiser. Mr. David Pic Conley will be dishing tea with Big Meach about the journey from then till now, and we will get into the psyche of the business from a musician standpoint and not just a vocalist. So this is going to be a wonderfully delicious pot of tea for your nerve, darlings. So I'm sure you have all of your crumpets together. So without any further ado, let's welcome to Dishing Tea with Big Meach. I'm going to affectionately call him Pic. Pic, what's happening, baby? Pic? Okay, let me make sure my mic is on. There we go. We're going to try this again. There we go. Pic, you there?
Hey, there you go. What's up, Big Meach?
Hey, what's up, baby? What's the tea?
It's good. It's good. We got hooked back up again.
Okay, yes, my darling. So now what is happening in your world? Thank you for coming on and thank you for being here. I just want to make sure that everything is everything. And I want to say, wow, for all this time, to know, being an entertainer and in this business myself, we always know that it's usually the people in the background who may not have the loudest voice, but they got most of the work, and put everything together. And to know that you are the creative engine, along with your pals, David Townsend, you guys came together to make this happen. I say thank you because, without this particular piece of history, back in 89, 90, and I was in my late teens, early 20s. So, you guys.
Word up.
Yes. So, you helped shape me and to help, my peers and my generation come up with the language that we needed at that particular time. So I say thank you and I salute you. And hell, where the hell you been? That's my first question. Where you been? And where y'all been? Because when it left, it just left.
Where have you been? Yeah. Well, that's a long story. But I've been here. I've been doing some things. It just hasn't been anything that broke out real heavy. I guess when you talk record-wise, I guess my last record that I did was with Damon Dash and Victoria Beckham. I did her album. And that was way back in 2004, so that's already 10 years ago.
Okay, right.
When you look at time, you think it's just yesterday, but no, time just kind of slips by, and it takes no prisoners. But I will tell you, I've been still having fun and enjoying myself and enjoying my life, and and just enjoying all the colorful things that the music has taken me. You know, even though it doesn't explode in the big way like before, you know, hopefully I'll get another shot with this new album. But it's nice to hear some of the old stuff. I heard Step in the Name of Love while you was on hold. I was like, wow, I haven't heard that in a while. You know. And,
okay, right.
Sometimes, you know, get a chance. Thanks to Angelo, I'm getting a chance to hear this music again and experience it all over again.
Well, see, that there is, for everyone who knows Big Meach, okay, I am a music buff. I really believe that music is just God's perfect language, okay, and that it speaks and it transcends to each and every person, you know, and when you got that, and the groove is going to move everything. Okay, and it will speak to your spirit one way, shape, style, form, or fashion, and there is a song for it. I don't care what it is, good, bad, or indifferent. There's a song about it. Okay, or if it ain't yet, it's going to be. Okay, especially now with the way the language is changing and carrying on. We got some crass shit out here now.
Yeah, got some new words. Yeah. We got some more words for songs out there right now. They're cool.
You know, however, it speaks to the experience, and there's something out there for everyone, whether you agree with it or not, you know, because, you know, I'm one of these cats, you know, who, you know, this whole hip-hop phase, I'm not a hip-hop head. There's elements of it that I like. However, this is the voice of this particular generation, and half the time I'm trying to understand what it is. You know what I'm saying? But when you
definitely
were at the helm of this, you know, you were we were the generation that had the voice, you know, and you know, it's not to say that the stuff wasn't done before, whatever. It's just that we came and got a little bit more colorful than what our forefathers and stuff did. You know, back in the day, Clarence Carter say, "I'll be stroking." You know, now when we came along, we say we knocking boots. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
So you know, it wasn't like it wasn't talked about. It's just that the language got a little bit more colorful. We didn't necessarily have the double entendres that, you know, made the song, you know, playful back in the day. Now we just flat out say what the hell we want now. You know, slap it, flip it, rub it down. Oh, no, you know. You know.
It's in your face. It's in your face now.
Exactly. All in, literally, and they say that in the song. Okay.
They sure do.
So,
it's like
you
wide
know,
open. No imagination these days. You just put it in front.
Oh, you know what? And perfect. That's a perfect way. There's no imagination. Exactly. And the folks now, you know, they can't wait for nothing. You know, everything is so right now. It's very microwave popcorn. You know, give it 20 seconds, honey, and it's done.
It's done. Quick. Look at that finger. Bam.
Exactly.
If you don't get to it quick, I'm going to the next.
Exactly. You know, hot and ready. Okay, Little Caesars, $5, hot and ready, honey, in and out. Bam. Okay. So let's get the folks to understanding who you are. Okay. Now, before you get to talking, I'm going to get ready to spoof you for just half of a second because I want to take you back. We were talking about the whole idea of going back to the day. So let me take you back to this and tell me if you remember this, and then once you get into this groove, I want to talk about this particular David when you were here, okay?
Okay. Wow. Oh, yeah. right here beside me. You all right? Beautiful.
Day to night. Hello.
Wow.
And what did
you
that just
took
do
me
for
right
you?
there, didn't you? Wow. Now, that particular time period, I will tell you, I felt like I was the luckiest guy alive. Man, because, you know, there's a flute player in that group called Carlos Wilson. And he was the one that actually taught me how to play flute just by listening to his records.
Really?
So when I first started playing the flute, yeah, because music was new to me. See, I got into music after high school, and I bought this flute in the streets, you know, and that's kind of like a hustle. So I was getting ready to sell it, but somehow it kind of intrigued me to put it together and figure out how to work it. And when I did that same thing, I was playing around with a mandrill record. So mandrill was actually a group for my heart and soul. For those of your listeners that probably don't understand, mandrill, there's a cult of us out there that followed groups like Mandrill and Earth, Wind and Fire and Commodores and Rare Earth, and we were out there following groups just like that. And so they were kind of very spirited inside of me. Plus, the band I was playing in at the time, we played Mandrill stuff. So eventually I got into playing the sax. There's a little history behind it. After flute, it went to the sax, and then we had a band called Port Authority, and after that we went out to L.A. and we got with Ed Townsend. Ed Townsend is David Townsend's father.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a little tiny bit about him because he wrote "Let's Get It On" for Marvin Gaye, so I can't say his name without letting folks know who he is.
Right.
So we got our first deal with 20th Century through Ed Townsend. And when that went bust, I joined Mandrill. So me joining Mandrill and me coming up under the tutelage of their records, it was like, man, it was like a dream come true for me. So even when I auditioned for the group, which was all kind of like God just made this path for me to find them. How I did that was like kind of almost phenomenal in itself. But I knew all their stuff almost better than them because, whereas they wrote the songs and played the songs or whatever, but I lived them because we were playing them in our shows.
Right.
Eventually I got with the band. That was my first major group. Actually, we got a record deal before that, but it went bust. But this was the first major group I ever was in, first major world tour. They took me to South America. It was the first time I was on TV. I was on Soul Train with Mandrill for the first time ever. And so this time period that you took me to was like the beginning of something that was brand new. It was a big, giant world of professional music and professional touring and all of this stuff. So that was that day. Brand new thing for kids. You know what I'm saying? Out in L.A. doing his thing, on a world tour. It was awesome, man. Awesome.
Okay, now let's go here. Because as a young man coming into and stepping into now what was a dream that just became your reality, what did that do for you mentally and then spiritually as well? Because everyone knows, and I ask this question frequently because everyone knows the industry becomes sex, drugs, rock and roll, and this, that, and the other. But what was that time period like for you? Because, we're talking, and it's not to say that now it's not the same, but at that particular time, we as African or Americans of African descent, we're starting to empower ourselves. The whole idea of the business side was still relatively new to us at the time. So trying to find out what the money was and this, that, and the other. But yet everybody was showering with gifts and this, that, and the other. And the bling became everything. But what was that?
Oh, yeah.
What was that world for you?
Well, you're right. It was like, especially being on Sony. See, Sony did it big first, but it eventually got eaten up by Sony. It became the big label, So we was on great company, Michael Jackson, Cyndi Lauper, Santana, Michael Bolton, on and on and on and on, and so many groups. Anyway, the way they did it, they made you feel real big. Like the first time they said we're going to do a video. I mean, there was no black folks doing videos. This was 1987. And Happy came out, and it sort of came out because different DJs throughout the country were just playing it off the album. And it wasn't a single at the time. And we made the company realize that, hey, folks like this record. So eventually they did a video. And the video was like $40,000. At the time, I was like, wow, that's a lot of money to spend on a video. We're still talking 1987 now. Right? So we're doing this video, and we're in studios, and they're making you up, and they're putting clothes on you, and they're dressing you up. And you're not saying anything other than, what do you want me to do? But pretty much like that. So it was a new world where people were catering to us. And then all of a sudden, when the record came up to number one, it got even bigger and bigger. So Happy was like the beginning of something really new because it was more personal to us. And Mandrill, I was more of a side guy, And Surface, I was one of the three members, So it was a bigger deal. Even our band, it was a bigger deal being one of the members as opposed to being in the band. But even the band members, you know, felt a lot of great times because people really started to join our music. Mm-hmm. And once that happens, you start making money. Once that happens, you start looking better. Once that happens, you get more girls around.
Right.
Once that happens, you get bigger cars, you know, and, you know, you start feeling yourself a little bit, you know what I mean? So what happens is I attribute most of me with my parents because my parents kind of taught me a certain way. Even though, you know, I kind of got a little big-headed a little bit out there, you know, and kind of try to feel myself a little bit, but then there's always something that'll knock your ass back down.
Right.
And then, you know, I call it eating humble pies. Like, for example, you know, putting out a record that don't work.
Okay.
Do all that. You know, our first single didn't work. Let's Try Again was our first single. It didn't work. So if we was feeling ourselves because we got a record deal, those feelings went out the window real quick because he was a real nervous artist running around in the streets. I'm telling you. When the record company don't call you back and there's nothing happening and you got a record out and everybody's looking at you like, you know, your family and friends is like, oh, yeah? Well what's happening? Well, ain't nothing happening.
Right. Because now everybody's expecting, you know, built up the hype, and now, you know, the relatives, you know, the cousin that's 3 removed, this is my 3rd cousin on my mama's side, want a handout.
Right.
Okay, I know you got some money. And they don't realize we ain't did shit yet.
Right?
Okay.
So out of nowhere, this little radio station out in Arkansas was playing the record, and he said every time this record's played, the phones light up, and that was happy. And so once the record company got wind of that, then they got their guns behind it. So we're getting back to the beginning of where the guns came from, because like I said in the beginning, there was no fanfare other than rocking on or liking on music. That's about it.
Wow.
Okay, Happy hits. So Happy's like, you know, doing this thing. You know, all of a sudden we're going places, you know, that we never knew possible. We're hanging out with bigger people now. We're getting invited to, you know, the president's Toys for Tots and hanging out with Magic Johnson. You know, these things are like really big eye openers for cats that didn't even know that this world existed.
Exactly.
So, you know, a lot of people will say, man, so-and-so sure look better now that record's hitting, huh? Remember how she looked? Or remember how he looked? Well, yeah. You know what? Their income went from one step to the other, but not only that, they were with the record companies, whether they were getting paid or not. The record companies were going to make sure, A, you were going to look the part. B, you were going to be at every radio station talking to people. C, you're going to be on videos. You're going to be on the radio. You're going to be on TV. You are going to look better because you're going to have stylists over you. They're going to be, you know, I never had this of myself. You know, I was kind of always just like a regular dude, whatever. But, man, once they start getting their hands on you, they say, okay, look, bam, bam, bam. Now you're on Rodeo Drive. You know, shopping.
Oh, okay, right.
Where they're making shoes for you. I had these shoes, these guys that's making shoes for me. So, you know, because I'm short. I'm a little dude. And so, you know, I figured Prince got it going on with his shoes where they got him hooked up. So I had this guy hook me some shoes where the inside the heel was higher and the outside the heel looked a little higher without being a platform. And they raised me up about 3 or 4 inches. But to tell you the truth, Big Meach, I couldn't walk in the damn things. I mean, you know, I was supposed to be hanging out with the fellas and taking pictures and trying to get the height variation a little bit better, but it was hard for me to walk. It was like, you know, like walking in high heel shoes, I guess.
Right,
I wasn't good with that, you know. So those didn't work. So I had to kick them $500 shoes, you know, stuff like that. So you start getting bigger and better things. But then what you don't do is if you don't have your business manager together, and if you ain't paying your taxes, and if you ain't doing the right thing out there, Big Meach, it could all come crumbling down.
Well,
at some point, guess what? Your records might not sell anymore. At some point, you might get a little older. You might not be as sexy to the girls as you was earlier, or to the guys. At some point, it might just all go away. And if you didn't cover yourself along the way, It's nice to have fun. It's nice to be sporting, you know, women all around and going to the heavy parties and spending your money all up on cars and all kinds of houses, this, that, and the other without checking yourself. If you don't check yourself with some business investments, you know, and have a good business manager, and he's not right, you know, make sure you sign your own checks. But at the same time, you got to watch yourself because it does. We thought it was never going to end. We thought it was going to end. And one day, it said, see ya.
Okay,
so
now let's go there. Okay, let's backtrack a little bit because we know that along the journey, Surface wasn't what we know Surface to be. You know, there was a different singer. You had a female vocalist at one time, and then you had to reposition and renew, and then you guys found Bernard. Let's talk about that transition and what that was to get Surface to what we know it to be.
I tell you what, it was some sadness and there was some joy there all together because Karen was an excellent vocalist. And we did first 3 singles with Karen under the name Surface. We even got a gold record in South Africa, did pretty good in England and France, and very good in New York, but nowhere else in the rest of the country. So Karen and I, we kind of had, you know, kind of bumped heads on a few things, so we kind of quietly just kind of split up. But at around the same time, we had met Bernard. And in the beginning, we started writing songs with B. Mm-hmm. And part of writing the songs was writing the next Surface single, whatever that was going to be. And a song called Feel So Good came out of that, which was on our first album, the self-titled album, Surface. Feel So Good was on that. And that was originally written for me and whatever girl was going to replace Karen.
Uh-huh.
But inside of that time period, there was no girl that replaced Karen. And we were kind of just floating around. I don't even know what we was thinking or what we were doing, but we were writing good songs. That's all we knew. Mm-hmm. And Bernard went out to L.A., and Bernard said, I ain't coming back until we get a record deal. And in the beginning, he was doing a group with him and David Townsend. He was originally called Jackson and Townsend.
Okay.
And that went nowhere. You know, it kind of was just kind of floating. We were still writing songs together, and our publishers, we eventually got a writer's deal. There's a lot of history in here, but we eventually got the writer's deal, which means we write songs for other people. In this particular company, Screen Gems EMI, they take the songs and they do what they call shop it to other artists. So we got songs on like New Edition. We did Sister Sledge. Of course, we had some big joints with Gwen Guthrie. You know, on and on. So we were writing. We were writing for other people before we even got our record deal.
Now wait a minute, because I have to say I'm gonna interject right here, because what folks don't know is that you're instrumental with one of the greatest women's anthems across the globe.
Going on but the red.
Ain't nothing going on but the motherfucking red baby. That's y'all. Come on now. Come on. Up in here.
Yeah,
and that song, if you put it on today, everybody still gets up because that's a timeless piece, baby. That's a timeless piece.
Yeah, that's all rock. There's no doubt about it. It was a joy working with Gwen. So she was a part of that. She was a part of the journey, a big part, because even with Gwen, I learned how to do vocal production, because even though we were doing it, we didn't really do it like the way she taught me, how to layer voices and how to spread them out. See, she was an excellent background vocalist, too. She did a lot of background stuff for a lot of different people. A lot of people don't know that about Gwen.
Yeah, she did a lot. She used to sing with my big sister, Miss Stephanie Mills, honey, yes.
Now, Gwen is too fierce for words. She's one of the most fantastic vocalists, probably, that I've ever worked with. You know, God bless her soul right now, because we know we lost her.
Yeah, we lost her a little bit.
But anyway, we were writing these songs, and our publisher, his name is Leonard Richardson, he goes over to Sony, and he plays our songs, pitching our songs. And Lark and Arnold was like, you know, these songs are nice, but like, who's these cats?
Right.
And then Leonard said, they a group. He said, yeah. He said, I want to see these guys. The great Lark and Arnold called us up, wanted to meet. And then Bernard calls me up and says, okay, we got the deal. And I was like, what? I couldn't believe it. He says, man, we got a meeting at Sony. I mean, at the time it was Columbia. We got a meeting at Columbia Records on Monday. This was Friday.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in Jersey. They're in L.A. Man, I said, I am out of there. So with the quickness, I jumped on a plane so quick, I couldn't even catch my breath. It seemed like I ran across country. I'm puffing and puffing. Hey, ran nowhere. I'm like, I can't believe it. Next thing you know, we're going into the record company. Eric Lurie was the A&R representative at the time, and he was the one that actually heard the music that took it to market, so he was our A&R guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, meeting these guys for the first time, I still got that image in my head, Meach, because he was like bigger than life to me. He was like the record company exec. We in Columbia Records, the office, everything is looking flushed out. I'm like, wow, man, I can't believe we're here. And when he stood up, he had his black suit on, he walked by, and even when he walked by, the image that I was thinking, was like too great for words. It was like overwhelming, that we were here. And then to hear him talk about our music, like,
right,
man,
right.
You guys got the shit. I'm like, we do? I'm like, I didn't know. Next thing you know it, man, they're picking songs out for our album, and they're saying, we had demos at the time. For those who don't know, demos, we weren't in a big studio at the time. We just did them at our house. We had a little 4-track studio.
Okay.
At the time, we had an 8-track studio. So Arcanano said, hey, these songs are nice. He says, can you guys do them again in the studio and make them out of records? In other words, can you all produce yourselves?
Exactly.
And we said, well, we'll do the same thing we did. And he goes, okay. He says, we'll give you a budget. And he said, we'll give you a budget of $105,000 to do a record. I'm like, huh? Like, I'm coughing and like, okay. So now we got to put on these other kind of hats. Now I got to figure out how to do a budget.
Oh,
so
okay.
Figured out how to do a budget, how to how much it was going to cost for the studio, how much it's going to cost for any extra people that we're going to use as far as musicians and arrangers and mixers and, all this stuff. So this was the new world of the business. This was the other side of it. But you know what? I started liking it. I started really dealing with the record company executives from the A&R to the business cats. I started liking putting budgets together and seeing how I can figure out how to cut corners here, cut corners there, make deals here, so that we can make more money on the top, because we made money out of that budget too.
Right.
So, in other words, if they gave us $100,000, we'll probably try to make a record. We'll probably try to make a record for $60,000 or something like that. So we'd have $40,000 between us.
Right.
So that we'd have a couple of dollars in our pocket too.
Right.
So the first, I don't mind talking about it now. It was 1986. The first record, we each made $10,000 on our first record initially when we did the record. The next record, we had Happy out already and lately, so I thought we did pretty good, right? So the record company tried to say they wanted to give us the same money to do the next second record. I'm like, wait a minute, $105,000? Didn't we just have a hit? So I'm scratching my head. I don't really know too much about the business, but I knew one thing. You shouldn't give us the same amount of money if we were successful for you guys, and you guys made some money for us. So let's talk about this. So
right.
Our manager was like, that's the way they do it. That's the way they do it. I'm like, I ain't buying it. I called the record company up, found out who to talk to, the business manager. His name is John something or another. I says, look, you guys are trying to give us $105,000 to do our second album. I don't think it's fair because we had a hit. He says, well, it's in line with the contract. I said, well, I think you better read the contract, and you should come back to us and give us a better deal before we do this next record. Like I did like that. I was kind of like a little stern with him. So he called me back the next day and he says, you know what, Mr. Conley? He said, you know what? You're right. We can do it for a little bit more money. And I said, well, how much more? And then he says, well, it looks like we could do it for $250,000. And I'm like, really? I said, let's do it. So me not knowing a lot about the business, I'm just jumping and excited, a little kid jumping because we got more money, double the money we had before. But had I had somebody with me, some management that really knew what was happening, they would have been like, no, we're not going with the bare minimum of the contract. We're going to the top of the contract. We sold 400,000 records of the single, and we sold 350,000 of the album, which means you're going to have to start out with $500,000.
Right.
See, this is the difference of having cats that know the business and going in and negotiating for you, as opposed to cats that don't know anything and just glad to get something.
Right.
We were glad to be there still, but for your audience of up and coming cats that's feeling themselves, you better have some business cats that's feeling themselves too.
Ooh,
because you can sign your whole self away and not even know that you're doing it. You know, you're good in music, but are you good in the business? If you ain't, get a partner. Team up with somebody. You good with doing tracks? Find a rapper. Find a singer. You good with singing? Find somebody that could do music. Don't negate the business cats. And really don't negate them, because I wasn't even on no drugs or doing nothing crazy and all that kind of stuff. And I watched a lot of money go by. You could just see it go by just living your normal life. So it ain't like you could be reckless and crazy with money and make a lot of money and watch it disappear, as opposed to being, just totally just out there, which a lot of cats do. They get into the drugs. They get into the girls. They get into every city. Hoes or area codes, so, all that stuff is true with a lot of cats. But how many opportunities do you have to kind of come in when you're young and got a talent, and you could be a millionaire by the talents that you have? And how many people can really do that and then stay young forever? No.
Right,
you grow
right.
up. Your music
That's
changes.
True.
People like you. People dislike you. You can have a good time, and even the greatest have a hard time selling records right now.
That's true.
But the good thing is we have the internet. We could do shows like this. People can listen to our music all over the world, and they can choose whether or not they're going to be a part of your life or not. So it's really cool that we have the opportunity to just, in one click, millions of people can just be sitting up here listening to us, musically and talking. And believe me, I'm a blabbermouth. I got a whole lot to say. I got a lot of history, because I've had a lot of fun, and I've been very fortunate, and I've been very lucky. Because a lot of this stuff is, savvy, but a lot of it is luck too.
Okay,
like
right.
How often do people say they got the perfect woman or the perfect man? How often do you find a team like me, David Bernard, that was able to create stuff like that? I mean, that's the same thing to me. It's a life thing. It's like, how did you run into cats that you're able to make something like that? And we're still talking about it 20 years later.
Or longer, right. Okay. Or longer, because,
don't make me seem too old now, Big Meach.
Well, no, because what I was referring to was going back to the Motown era, because, Motown predates me. I'm 45. So to know that, I think everyone who gets into this industry is looking to have that kind of longevity that Motown did, because it was an institution. It's a part of the American fabric, and I think everyone who gets into this wants to have, either to say Motown or to say Dick Clark. You know what I'm saying? To say those two names, says everything about music. So here is where I want to take you. Let's go into the whole idea of, we saw what the good times were, when things were starting to move, and as you were coming across, you started to learn what the business was. Okay, we got a couple of bumps. You got a couple of scabs, got a little mercuric comb. Okay, I done scraped up my damn knee here, bumped my elbow here, hit the funny bone a couple of times. Okay, that shit wasn't funny. However, now let's talk about when things were not so cute and Surface was not on the surface. You guys laid low a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Was it a disbandment? What happened?
Oh, man, I could tell you the story is like really unreal. Because In 1991, we put out a CD called 3 Deep.
Yes.
On that CD, we had a single called The First Time. That single went number 1 top 100, which was pop, number 1 adult contemporary, and number 1 R&B, all at the same time. Excuse me. I shouldn't be eating the French fry talking. The single went gold. The CD went gold. We had another top 10 R&B song called All I Want Is You, and another top 15 pop song called Never Gonna Let You Down.
Mm-hmm.
And the record company dropped us after all that.
Wow.
So, after that, I'm sitting up here looking at this record company, this big giant thing called Sony, and I'm saying, wait a minute, we went where everybody's trying to go. Number 1.
Right.
You can't get no higher than number 1 pop.
Exactly.
On the black side,
number
you can't
1
get higher
pop.
than R&B.
Right.
So what gives? So here's the explanation that I finally got after like digging and digging and digging. Really never really got a good explanation, but this doesn't even wash. They said, well, we're spending platinum money on gold groove. So that was the answer. As I look at the black money, and as I look at selling 500,000 units, and especially when just even break it all down to $10 times 500,000.
Right.
Then you got 500,000 singles. So let's even put $1 on the singles. So you don't have to work hard to see those numbers.
Right.
So, okay, even if you spent $1 million or $2 million on the group, you still came out super in the black.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't even close to being in the red. So, to me, it's like, okay, you spend platinum money on the gold group. Okay, so you just fire them? Right when they're on top of the world? You don't just say, well, we're going to spend gold money on you now. You don't even say, well, we're going to give you a lower budget for the record now. You just drop them.
Right.
So, you want to talk about when everything wasn't so rosy. There you got the bittersweet. There you got the sweet and sour porks, whatever.
Ooh,
I mean, like,
okay.
how sweet can you be on top of the world? We're the number 1 pop. I mean, how many groups can say they go number 1 pop? Show Me What You Love with number 5. But, I mean, even with that kind of history coming back and back, it seems like we're getting better, huh, Big Meach? Show Me What You Love, number 5, number 1 R&B. The next album, number 1 pop. Sounds to me you guys are getting better. Gold single with Show Me What You Love, gold single with The First Time. The only difference was the CD didn't go platinum like Second Wave. The CD went gold, but I didn't know that you could snub your nose up to a freaking gold record.
Right.
I'm snubbing my nose up to it now. 500,000 people digging what your shit is.
Exactly.
And you're going to snub your nose up to it, not me. But apparently, Big Business said, we can't use these guys anymore. And you said something in the beginning of the show that's been true, and whether or not it feels good to me or not, it doesn't even matter to me. But you know what? Our songs have always been bigger than us as people and as the name Surface. You know? So you say Surface nowadays, 20-some-odd years later, people go, who? Huh?
Mm-hmm.
But if you go Shout Me What You Love, or Only You Can Make Me Happy, and you just sing a little tune of it, boom. People get it
right, exactly. I had to do that today. I was like, do you remember something? Who? And I did just that. Oh, yeah. That was my boy.
There you go. So, and I'm not mad at that because you know what? Something is left behind for you to say yeah about. So
exactly.
That part has always been cool, and we held on to that part, even though when we were being fired, we didn't know that we were going to have longevity in the business with our old stuff. Whether or not you heard us new, or we never really recovered totally. We did another album in '98 for the Oriental market. They released a record from us, and that was called Love Zone.
Okay.
But it was just a small little poof, you know what I mean? I don't even know if we even put our heart and soul in the record, you know, to tell you the truth. I mean, I was being conflicted because I was being pulled and pushed and pulled by a lot of the new music, so I've always kind of been somewhat of a rebel of the group, but it's like I kind of live in these times. I don't like separate myself from the world. I'm like really a part of it, good and bad, because I know that there's, everybody kind of focuses in on the negativity, but I know the balance. I know that there's just enough positivity as negativity. Even when I go to a place that would normally be a negative place and you got to watch your back or whatever, some of these places that you might go through the world. I'm talking about not just in your own city of Detroit or whatever, but I'm talking about different places. I travel a lot. And you might find me in a place that, whoa, what's he doing up in there? He got in and out of there quick. But, it's that experience of what people are into and what they like and what they don't like and their hustle. People got hustles all over the world. It's kind of cool, actually. But, it can get dangerous, but it can get lovely, too. It can get beautiful, really, really beautiful out there. It just seems ugly because of all the ugly things that are going on out here. But there's some beauty out here still. I want people to know, we're looking at ISIS. We're looking at this new thing with Iran and Syria. And even over in China.
Right.
And in Korea. We focus in on some of the things that say, whoa, I wonder what kind of world my kids are going to be dealing with when they come up. Well, the same world that my dad said about us. And we hanging. And we handling it. You know what I mean? So I like the hustle. I like the hustle out here, and I got my own hustle. It took me a long time to figure it all out to come on back and give some folks some new music. But that's what I'm about right now. The music ain't stopping. I can tell you all that. No matter what, even if you kind of go back with that calendar and say, oh, wait a minute, how old is this? You know what? I feel great. And the music feels great to me. I think we did a great job. John Fever is now the new vocalist right now, and he's similar to Bernard, But it's like I just don't want to stop. I just don't want to stop giving what I got inside because, to tell you the truth, I don't know where this is coming from. God got more to do with this than me. I can write a song and don't even know where it came from, and it just kind of comes out like, whoa, where'd that come from?
Right,
it's like,
right.
Huh? And do you even remember it? Sometimes I don't even remember it, so it ain't mine. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it comes
okay.
through. It's like improvisation. You're up on stage and they say take a solo. Then all of a sudden you start scatting or you're playing an instrument or whatever it is, just playing something that's just in your soul that just kind of comes out. You can't really write it down because you don't know what it is until it comes out.
Exactly.
Step back and listen to it. If somebody comes up and tells you, oh, man, you took that solo, dude. I can't believe it. I was on the floor. That's when you know that you touched somebody.
Exactly.
With what God gave you. So I know that this is not supposed to be kept to myself.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm not back out here. I'm trying to get it back up.
So now what are we to look for from the new music? Because now Surface, ReSurface, is what we're working with. So what are we looking for? And let me go here too. Because see, one of the things that I wanted to make heavy is the fact that we always hear the music industry from the vocalist point of view. The singers and whoever is the front person. Bernard, see, for you to be here, Bernard was the dude that we saw at Surface because he was the vocals, and this and the other, the high top fade that we used to have, what we used to call the Grace Jones back then. Okay.
Yeah.
So, the Chocolate Brother came on, had a cute little body on him and things, and carrying on. All of us wanted either we wanted to have him or thought we could,
Right.
So, he was the dude, and then that was right at that time we heard the whole black skin, dark skin thing, because I think Dark was in at the time when he hit. Okay, the Dark Force was in.
At that time, baby. Oh yeah.
So.
Well, you are so right.
Yeah, hit it. Hit it because he comes. Here you are. The creator of the group. Writer. This, that, and that, and then you playing the flute. So here we are. Making the hustle as the musician.
Right.
You know, and what is that?
Yeah,
because
that's the amazing thing. That's the amazing thing about it, because even as we were rolling, it wasn't even in my head that eventually Bernard was getting ready to be the leader of the group. It wasn't even in my brain, because I was running everything, right?
Right.
And you come to the realization that, wait a minute, it don't matter what you're doing back in the back there. Everybody's got to focus on the lead cat. So you better start making him shine and make him feel as great as possible. So, yes, you do get the recognition of the lead voice. Now, in my case, I had to go through a couple, because I thought it would have been just me and Karen forever at Surface, tell you the truth.
Right.
And then when it came to, Lee David Bernard, we lost David Townsend, God bless him. He died in 2005. Yeah, and he sure put a dent in things. You talk about missing somebody. And, eventually me and Bernard, we tried to get it on. We never really broke up, tell you the truth. We never really said, nah, we're finished. We did say, let's try to do another record, and we tried, didn't work. Even with Dave, we was getting ready to do another record, and then he died right before we were going to do it. He died in the month that we were actually going to be starting the next Surface album. So eventually I kind of went to where when I first came on air, you were playing Spanish Fly.
Spanish Fly, baby.
But the first thing I did was I went and tried to be a jazz musician for a little while. And I don't know, I liked the album. I liked it, but it just didn't seem like it was being received as well, as far as, people. I guess they got to find it first, listen to it, and didn't want to be a part of it. But, it was a project that I think was just for me. And then eventually when I was doing shows, I moved back to Jersey, and I went looking around for a vocalist, because I noticed that every time even when I would go even on a jazz show, they would be like, you ain't going to sing Happy? You ain't going to sing Child Be What You Love? You better not come off of that stage. So I went looking for a vocalist that kind of sounded like Bernard, and I found him in a club in Newark, New Jersey, Pic Club, and he was singing Babyface. Ripperfield, as a matter of fact. And he came off the stage. I said, man, I like your voice, man. I like it a lot. I said, it really fits with what I'm doing. I said, why don't you come on board? So for years, about 4 years, I kind of just groomed him into fitting what I was doing, as well as kind of easing into what he was doing, because he had his own style as well.
Right.
And eventually, I said, okay, let's do a Surface record. I think we're ready. And that's when we started last year. And we started out because, when I write, I still have Bernard in my head. Kind of hard to shake him because he's such a part of my heritage. And so the first song we did, I just figured that we need a song that everybody's going to say, this is definitely Surface. And it's called Say I Do. That was the first song that we wrote. And it's a precious song about saying I do to your lover. And the groove was very much like Happy, so I was very satisfied that we could do what we did before. Then I said, okay, let's start stepping it up a little bit. Let's do some different stuff and start moving in, and just things that were just coming out through life, and just thinking about things that were happening out here and trying to put them down on paper, which is never paper with me. It's always the phone.
Okay, right.
The phone first. Then I run up into the studio and I put it down and stuff like that. So it is different with a new vocalist, and it certainly is different for me. Being done it before, got successful once before, but so many people do enjoy and love Bernard's voice. The only thing I could tell everybody is that I try to stay as close to our legacy as possible, with making sure that you receive a beautiful voice, beautiful melodies, simplistic grooves that you can pat your heads to, or certainly something that you could say, I've been through that, or I want to get into that, or all that. So I'm hitting subjects that are very today. We Could Fly, as a matter of fact, is kind of almost, in and out of today, because We Could Fly is talking about love from a whole different perspective from what people talk about love now with sex. Because We Could Fly is talk about, I want to make love to your mind. It's more than a sexual thing.
Right.
So that's our single. So when you get into that, you'll hear that the lyrics are kind of, going back to, I want to adore you. I want to treat you right. I want to treat you with respect. I want to love you. I don't want to dog you up and then hit your sister and then kick your brother and then raise your mama. I don't want to do all that.
Right.
A lot of records are saying that. I don't want to go down and cop a bag. All that. I don't want to do all that. I just want to just take you on it. I just got somebody beautiful or even a friend. I just want to hold my friend so tight that they know where my love is coming from. They're not going to get confused because of my actions. And even in these songs. These songs are definitely portraits of us and others, because I vicariously live through a lot of people, because I'm always listening. I listen and watch people. Not with my eyes, because for those who don't know, I can't see it. I can't really see anymore. I just see shadows. And so I'm forced to see inside. Even if you put up a facade, eventually that comes down. The more you experience somebody, you'll show yourself up eventually. Okay. And see, that's a part of the love that I'm trying to experience now with everybody, the love from the inside. And in the hearts, because all this racial stuff going on out here today, all the hatred going on out here today, and all the religious stuff, since when is God so evil? Since when is God so like that?
Wait a minute.
I don't get it.
You work me for that? When is God, or when has God become so evil? Oh, okay, you know what? You're not going to work me like that, Mr. Man. Wow. Oh, you just set that on fire.
That's what the world is doing. Come on now.
You just set that on. Okay, you know what? Hold on, because I'm trying to get this song to queue up.
Wait a minute.
Cause we finna do that. We finna get ready to fly. We
some of this hot chocolate.
We finna fly, baby.
Oh, what?
That's right. Oh, nothing you heard of to ever come closest. No, I'm not dreaming about sexual healing.
What?
It's a little bit deeper than hugging and kissing. Think a little higher, lay spirits on fire. I've been thinking to myself, been thinking about you, and knowing what I got in this world with you. So let's take a ride to that special place in your soul. Let's fly, we can fly away. Just make love to your mind and magic. It's more than a sexual thing. Let's fly, we can fly away. Just make love to your mind and magic. It's more than a sexual and knowing what I got in this world with you. So let's take a ride to that special place in my soul. Let's fly, we can fly away. Cause making love to your mind is magic. It's more than a sexual thing. We can let's fly, let's fly, let's fly, fly
Okay, you better give me that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you better give me that because y'all done pulled from a lot of different elements to make this together. Aha! Yes.
Now, you know we put the Isley Brothers in there, and we did it right, though, Big Meach. We did it right because...
Oh, I know, because you got to catch that groove. You have to catch the groove because the whole art of that is because you took the part that you needed to make it work, and you did not try to sit down there and recreate their song. You took what you needed.
No, I didn't. I used what we wanted. Yep.
Yeah, you know. Oh, okay. Making love to your mind, honey. It's more than a sexual thing, honey. It's a little bit more than that. Shut up.
Right. See, and that line came from "For the Love of You" by the Isley Brothers. We're talking about that little lick on the end of the song. Right. So I decided that don't take it off because it means so much to me. Call up Chris Jasper. So I called him first, and he said, "Well, call up the publishers." I called him up. We worked out the percentages. We did it right. We didn't do what Pharrell and Robin did. Had the song and now they're getting sued.
Right.
We can't get sued because I put them down as writers of the song. So we're all writing the song together because of that one little lick on the end. But that end lick was so important to me that I felt like, hey, a little percentage ain't going to hurt nobody. Especially if it makes a good part of the record. We sitting up here talking about it.
Right, and and then to also on marketability, honey, because DJs love to have something that's mixable. See, if you got the damn DJ on that floor, because I done heard this go into so many different areas of this. Okay, oh please, come on. Come on.
So tell me, do you like our first single?
This here, it's infectious because it's going to creep up on you in the beginning. It's one of them. Oh, okay, But then as you listen to it, get into it. See, then it's gonna have you sit down there. You're gonna hum it. See, this is one of those infectious kind of things. It's a slow rise. And that's what I love about that. It's a sneaker, kind of like one of those cocktails, child. If you got a smooth cocktail, honey, a lot of the fruity ones do that to you. If it's mixed well, it's going to sneak up on you. You can't guzzle this one down, and you can't have more than one at a time, and you got to take your time because it's going to slap you. That's what this is doing.
Got you.
You know what I'm saying? It's going to hit you. And then if you take more than one, honey, when it hit, baby, it's going to fuck you up. And that's what I love about this. And this because where I'm hearing this, and see, I'm one who have to have music in my ear. And I'm playing it all here cutely and everything so it don't get distorted. But I know once I put it onto a system and it's booming, and that goddamn that lick on that end, honey, is what's gonna get in my crawl. And I'm hearing. See, this is what I'm hearing. As I don't DJ, but I'm a female impersonator. So when I hear music and I want to put shit together, this is what I tell my DJs to do. And see what I hear. See, we could take that, and I also hear Michael Jackson's "Rock With You" in here. Michael is up in child, and I'm like, that whole group and "Rock With You" was that whole Off the Wall album was, I think, Michael's best piece of shit. So
it's my favorite. It's my favorite.
You know what I'm saying? So you're in that particular space with me. And so that particular groove is what's finna get ready to circle and cycle. And now, and that's what's going. We're going back to feel good music. And right here, the message of this is how it was back when we were kids. The message was solid, but you sit down and you had a message that made you move. So you could clean your house to this on Saturday morning. I could wash a window to this, and sit down there and still shake my ass again. I'm like, okay. And catch it there. And now, if you want to be cute, let's see, because this just hit me. I just heard this coming out of that. See, I could take a "Ain't Nothing Going On But the Rent" and mix this up in here if I got a DJ who know how to mix right. You see what I'm saying?
Know what? I did a mix like that already. I got a remix like that already.
Don't you fuck with me, David Pic?
Pic.
Pic.
Yes, I do. I got ain't nothing going on with the remix to that song, and it's ba-boom, ba-boom, ba-boom on top of that song right there.
Don't you make okay? You know what? Now see that's okay. Now see, I'm starting to stutter, and everybody know when okay, wait, okay, calm.
I see. I'm gonna have to send it to you because you ain't got that one. I ain't let that one out yet.
Okay, that's where I am.
Let the first one out first, yeah.
Okay.
You can't give it all up at once, Big Meach. You know that. Why do you want to give it all up at once?
I know, but see, I'm one who gets greedy. See, you can't do that.
No, you like the world, fast everything. Slow it down, baby. See? You gotta take your time. You're gonna mess around with us because we get into your brain. See, we don't just play with your hips. We get into your brain.
All right now, okay. Where does what the song say? If you could sit down there and make love to my mind, this is what I teach it to all of my kids and my mentees are carrying on. So if I got your mind. If I got your mind, everything else will respond accordingly. Shit, come on, you better understand what I'm trying to tell you, man. Okay. Okay. Shit.
You better.
Okay.
What?
So now, when are we looking for this to come on? And is the single ready on iTunes? Where can they find it? What's going on? Talk to me.
Right now, it's definitely although I'm going to reissue it. We're doing a video this weekend up in New Jersey. We'll do the photo shoot on Saturday. We've got Keith Mason as our photographer. I'm hearing that he's super fierce, this cat. Awesome. So we're in good hands with the photographer. You know, we've got a great concept for the video. So we'll do the video, and, of course, it's going to take a little time to edit it up. So hopefully, you know, getting closer into that first week of April, we might be ready to spin something off on everybody, you know. So keep an eye and keep an ear out for us. Go to our website, ReSurface.com. Join us on our Facebook, ReSurface.com. Join me on my Facebook page, David Pic Conley. David Pic Conley on my Facebook. There's no K in my name, incidentally, y'all. 2 C's. Anyway, figure I'd throw that in there. And keep an eye on us because we're trying to make some noise, but we can't make any noise without you guys saying, hey, I like that.
Okay.
So we really can't make any noise until folks dig inside their pockets and say, hey, look, I like it enough that I want to be a part of this. So that's what keeps us alive out there, honestly. You know, we got to have it all, you know what I mean? So we're trying to do everything right now, you know. It's been a long time.
You know what? Now, that's a cute question.
Music.
With everything being what it is with the music industry now, you know, because now record companies are not they're not record companies like they were back in the day. They're more so distributorships. You know, they treat everybody they treat everybody as if they're independent artists, but they take all the money. You know what I'm saying? So
they take all the money.
They take all the money. They got you doing all of the work. They don't front nothing like they used to back in the day. I won't say nothing, but, you know, not in the way that they did back in the day. And yet they make all of the money off all of your work. Because now, folks, if you're trying to get a deal or whatever, you're coming in as a package. The album is done. Basically, they probably do a remix or whatever, or a better mix on it, just to get it out. But basically, you're coming in as a package already. You done already made the investment. You done paid for the damn studio time and this, that, and the other. And then also with the piracy, because just like you said, folks, we need to pay for it. iTunes and everything is $1 a download. Hell, I've seen stuff as more as $2.50 for a single. All right. Back in the day, that's what we paid for a 45. You know, when I went to go buy, I got 2 songs, because you got the A-side, and I'm a B-side bitch, honey. So you got the A-side and the B-side.
And you get a remix with it. Yeah.
You know, for $2.50 or whatever. Now you get a single for 99 cents or $1.49 or whatever. And because I downloaded it and I done paid for it, now I done put it up on Facebook. I done put it up on my Instagram. And so now everybody sit down there and now they just download the download. So now the money gets lost because of how that's done. How do the artists survive these days, outside of having the gigs, now you got to get the concerts, and now you got to make sure you're on the road and have killing yourself in order for you to make a living.
Yeah,
what is that like for you?
Well, you're telling the reality. That's the reality. So I say you got to do it all. So okay, you got to think like an entrepreneur. You got to think back as a hustler, because this is what you got to do. Take advantage of everything you got. You have the outlet for YouTube. You know, once you monetize your songs on YouTube, if you reach a certain level, they're paying you.
Right, that's true.
So that's a source of income. And that's a big source of income, because if you go viral, you know, you get up in the millions, they're paying you a good $30,000 to swap every million that you hit. So you can make some money on YouTube. So that's one thing. And you talk about people not buying records these days, so that's one way of making money. The other way of making money is when you're out on the road and you got your pieces with you.
Right.
And there's nothing more nice than people that are hearing you sing, and at the end of the show they're saying, I want a part of this when I go home. And they're buying your records. While you're there, it's a slow burn, you know, 100, 200 pieces maybe, you know, each time you play. But that's doing pretty good. So now you got some sales that are going on when you're performing live. Then you got your social media. You get up on social media and you drench these folks. You tell them, hey, look, we need you to be a part of this. All you got to do is here's the link. Don't even give them nothing to click on. Just let them click one time. Takes you right straight to the album. Bam!
Right.
You ain't got to think
okay.
about it. Ain't think, look into the album. You know what I mean? Surface, resurface. You know, or whatever. The album's not out, guys, yet, but the single certainly is. But yeah, so you got your ways on social media where you could draw people in and have them go. You have your website. So if somebody clicks on your website and didn't have that $10 to give you at the club, and you gave them their website address, and they go hit your website. If you go to somebody's website, you better be having somebody walk away with spending some money.
Right.
The way I look at it, you go to the website, you don't already see me, you hyped up on me, and you ain't gonna buy nothing that you hear. I must have did something wrong. So you got to have a little store happening, or a little click on a link where you could just go on and download that song that you heard that night, or that album that you want to go, or you want to experience some other albums. You might look in there and be like, oh, David Pic Conley, he did an album called Bird of Paradise. Wonder what that's like. You know,
right.
Take a peek at that. But anyway, you got that going on. Then you got your different outlets where you could start sending your money to Hollywood.com outlets where they check out solicit songs for movies and different things of that nature. You know, people don't think like this because they think it's like winning the lottery, but you'd be surprised that if you're not on these sites, if you're not going places where people go and look around and peek around and click on stuff, then they're never going to be able to find you. So you have to find ways of having people find you. You know, for me, you know, I brought in my publicist, Angelo Ellaby. He does the publicity side, so he's putting my face and my thoughts in people like your ears for your audience. And then I also have a website girl. I don't know what to call her, but she's my internet specialist.
Mm-hmm.
Her name is Shay Alexander, and she mans all my website stuff. Make sure I don't sleep. Make sure I stay on top of folks. Make sure folks know what we're doing. You know, we're doing this video this weekend. You know, it's a big deal for us.
Right.
To have people join us in that big deal, and so they say, yo, Circus is getting ready to do a new video. I ain't seen a video from them since like 1991. What the heck they gonna look like, or what they gonna do? You know, so you know they go on, even if it's curiosity. You go on, all of a sudden you hear a song and be like, whoa, I kind of like this song. So it kind of builds up more talk.
Right.
It builds up more talk, and the more you got people that might get interested in following you. Keep your Twitter pages up. Let folks know what you're doing, even though, all right, this is the world where everybody in your business. Well, if you're in the music business, you better open those doors up for people to be in the business, or else you just won't make it out here.
Right.
You need people. You need friends. You need associates. You need fans. You need all that stuff to move these mountains that are put up in front of you that you think are so big. But actually, with the internet, they could be small hills, because you could jump them instantly. Now, once you get on that hill, once somebody clicks on you and once somebody checks you out, then it's their prerogative whether they're going to like you or not. So
right.
do the best you can. Find a spot in the world where people do like you. Because I tell everybody, I don't have to like your music, but I tell you one thing, with the internet, you can find somebody who do.
Right,
because folks
exactly.
is liking everything. You don't even know what folks is liking out here. Aside from even music, folks is into all kind of stuff.
Exactly.
So this is what it does. It gives you an opportunity to have a partner with you that is relentless on getting to people, but you have to feed it. You have to feed it. You have to tell people, and boom, boom, keep it going. Let people know. It's just go to this site, go to this site. Create a buzz. It's nice when people create a buzz for you, like in the case of Macklemore, where somebody saw this cute little video on YouTube one day called Thrift Store, and all of a sudden she called up her friend, and that friend called her friend, and that friend called her friend, and that friend called his friend. He called him, all over the world in 1 week. 300 million people took a look at this phenomenal video. And we might think, hey, what's so special about that? Well, what's special about it is it hit a vein in the world where people were talking and liking what they were hearing and seeing, which gave them the platform to present a group that nobody's never heard of, not signed to a record company, and then all of a sudden they're not only making millions of dollars, they're getting Grammys, they're all on Good Morning America.
Right.
They come back with another single. Then they come back with another single. They're not just a walk in the park. They actually got hits on the record. They actually are pretty damn good. You know what I mean? And this is all by their strength going on the internet, not a record company like we did it. So what am I saying? All I'm saying is, folks, you can do it because it's all out there for you. There's good and bad stuff out there. I say, try to get to the good stuff. And then, keep your foot in the bag because you got to still have a little darkness out here. You can't just think that you're 100% good and going to make it out here. I say, keep a little foot firmly planted on the other side so you can know what's happening. So it don't side snap you, or get caught out there. You know what I mean? You know what's going on. That's in the way of having good management of good people looking out for you. Well, when you get starstruck and your eyes is all shining, you can't see the ground in front of your feet. Somebody else is looking for you and saying, watch out, this is getting ready to be a hole. You can ready to walk right into it. So you're just living off that fame and living off of that high, and it's very intoxicating, My high is actually when people tell me, like you, when you describe a record that I've done, in ways of telling me that, wow, not only is he listening, he's getting a picture. He's getting an image. And when people tell me that it lifted them in some kind of way, like I remember years ago when Bernard called me up and said, man, you should read this thing on the internet. It says the lady's daughter was in a coma, and she kept playing Shower Me With Your Love over and over again. And then the girl came out of the coma. Now, we can all say, the music didn't do that. She was going to come out anyway. But it sure is nice hearing that somebody says, put this on. This
right.
Better. When somebody says that, that's what really gets to me. We did that. We touch people like that. Now, music touches me like that. I hear songs that touch me all the time.
Okay.
But I wonder how it touches people. And then when you start hearing people talking back to you, and they're mentioning all these miraculous things that are going on in their lives, from having kids to make it up with their wives and husbands and just kind of just living a beautiful life. And that was a good time period for me. I remember back then when we used to go to the concerts, or, we used to be able to keep our doors unlocked, and it was so cool back then. Now it's like, oh, man, it's so different now. Yeah, it was different when my father was young, too.
Okay, exactly.
He had to deal with,
exactly.
being able to vote or whatever, you know what I mean? So, yeah, we all go through stuff in this world that they're planning up underneath us. But I say keep on searching for the positivity out here and holding on to what you're passionate about. Because if you're passionate about something, you can't help but be good at it. That's just the way, that's just the order of nature,
That's
it might
true.
take a little bit longer for some people. Some people are slow learners. I'm a slow learner, to tell you the truth. It took me a long time to figure out stuff with life. was pretty instant with music. I don't know. I think I might have been just made out of music when I was coming up. I don't know, because it just came so effortlessly to me. And then as I was learning, I learned really well. Anything that had to do with music, it just went in me like a sponge. But life, women, situations, contracts, friendship, oh my God, lot to be desired along the way.
Right,
because,
right.
You know, immature. And, you know, I didn't know what was happening. I just was a bunch of energy floating all over the place trying to figure out what's going on out here. And the more I saw, the more I buzzed. And the more I buzzed, the more, I guess, bugged out I must have appeared to a lot of people because I was too excited. And still very excited about things that are happening. You know, I'm just that type of person because my life is still, even though I have my blindness going on, I'm still like inside. I'm such a happy dude because I'm so lucky. I'm just like blessed is a better word, you know, for those who believe in God, you know, because it's always been the light shining on me. You know what I mean? So I better not be too mad because I can't see. I take away if I could see good, I might not be able to write another song.
How about that one?
You know, I might not be able to play the flute. I might look at it wrong.
Right.
Okay. Look at it different. You know, so I take what I got, even though they made, you know, I ain't too happy about being blind on the real, you know, but you know what? I can't sit around and dwell on that.
Right,
you know, I wish I could see, especially all the wonderful things that are going on here. I remember when the internet came to fruition, and of course I jumped right on it because I found ways of dealing with it, you know, with talking softwares, etc. I kept telling my friend Capricio, I said, you know, Kat, what does the internet look like? I don't know what it looks like. And he's looking at me, he's like, because this is the beginning of internet time, he's looking at me like, what? It's a lot of words, a lot of pictures. And I'm thinking all this scientific, like this web and all this sci-fi stuff is going through my head. Right. I'm like, wow. So, all in all, for me, it's been a different world, the internet for me. So I just kind of really deal with a lot of just blogs and comments and words and things and situations that I hear as opposed to pictures. And I know it's a pictorial world out here. You know, it's very pictorial. Even the videos and the movies, you know, they're making stuff so real. It's like a thin line between what really is real and what's on the screen these days because it's totally taking your mind into that new world of fantasy.
Oh, of course. It's escapism,
I deal with it on my own level. Yeah. So you go to watch a movie, I go to listen to a movie, and I make up my characters, and you could tell me about them, and I could build the characters along the way. But I'm actually watching for the script. I'm actually watching the storyline.
Right.
And I want to dig on a good plot. I don't want to just see a movie because it looks great, you know what I mean? Although I appreciate the fact that they can make stuff that looks so real. But it ain't for me. But it's okay. I got other things.
I heard that. All right, give everybody the websites one more time because I'm going to let you get back into your day because this has been very enlightening for me. And, yeah, because we can fly, honey. Because we can fly.
We can fly.
Yes. Tell everybody again where to find you, baby.
Okay. I'm going to tell you that website, which is also going to be the title of the album called Surface Resurface. Now, the website is surfaceresurface.com. Those spaces are all lowercase. There you go. And on the Facebook page, you got resurface.com. And for those of you who want to really reach out and touch us on the heavy tip, there's the resurfacemusic@gmail.com. So,
hot damn. Okay.
Stay in touch with us. We got a really, really hot CD coming out, and We Could Fly is a representation of what's to come. And hopefully we didn't put the hottest record out first.
Okay, how about that? All right.
And hopefully you guys can join our new journey.
Well, you know, this is just a leg of it, you know, and hell, as long as we're on this side of creation, everybody ends up going into a new leg of the journey. So that there is that, Pic, where does Pic come from?
Well, I can say it now because it doesn't bother me as much, but my nickname was Pickle.
Not Pickle.
And as time went on, I know, right? As time went on, I just felt like there had to be a need to shorten that sucker. Plus I'm the cat that nicknames everybody I run into.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it was only natural for me to just say Pic. You know what I mean? It was actually, I was walking down the street, saw a little pretty girl, and I started pushing up on her. And, and she said, well, what's your name? I said, it's Pickle. Do you know she just turned around and just kind of just ignored me after that? I was like, hey, what'd I do? So I guess I didn't have any sophistication as well as having a very immature name, Pickle. And she just was like, not interested. Boom, gone, right? So I showed her Pic. So, I could be anything with Pic. Even though I play the flute or the piccolo, it doesn't mean that, or the guitar. It just means Pickle, short.
Hot damn.
There you go.
And there we have it. Okay, because I went to piccolo because I'm like, okay, flute, piccolo is it's in that same little genre.
Yeah.
Or guitar pick. Yeah, I went there too, So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, okay.
Well, all right,
I played around with all of them, but it was different when I was coming up. We grew up in a world of nicknames, though, and that was a cool thing. Everybody had a nickname,
Okay.
Some good, some bad, yeah. But it was lovely growing up as well. And when I say that, I mean, we had our bad times too. I mean, I grew up with roaches everywhere, dude. Nothing was uglier than having roaches crawling all over you and stuff, But the time where I grew up, there was so much going on. There was so much to learn, so many people, and so many friendly people, actually, because growing up in New Jersey, East Orange, New Jersey, we had a neighborhood that everybody knew everybody. So that was kind of cool, too. So even if you tried to get your ass in some trouble, you was going to get busted by somebody's mother, and they was going to tell your mother, and then your skin was going to be off your hindy that night. So, we had to be really clever to get away with stuff when I was coming up.
Yes. That's how it was for all of it. Well, for those of us who came up in that particular genre, and we still remember the nosy neighbor that we always hated because she always ran her damn mouth. However, I miss those days, because
love her now. Shoot.
No, because see, the nosy neighbor now get cussed out. You don't tell me what my child did. You don't. It done became a whole new thing.
Right.
Okay. So a whole new thing. Saying shit. So, all right, let me let you get back into your day. And this has been absolutely phenomenal. And I'm going to tell you, like I tell everybody, because when I bring you a part of the family, when y'all ready to drop this thing, honey, we can have a listening party right here. We'll go through every track on this girl, and we will make sure that the folks understand what's going on. We'll break it down and explain it. And so and Angelo already knows. So just tell him what I. He's probably listening. Angelo, you already know, honey. Drop it here.
Right.
Okay.
That's my dude. No question about it.
So there be that. So all right, thank you so much for yes. See, now when I come next time I'm on that, because I travel to New York frequently, and I used to live in Jersey City.
Okay.
So when I get back there, honey, we had to sit down because now I got to go off the record because I need to get the dirt now. And see, when we dish dirt, honey, dishing dirt is off the record. That's personal.
See, it ain't all teaching and clean. There's a lot of pebbles in that road we traveling, baby.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So without any further ado, thank you so much for coming on. And all of my everything goes to you. My strength, my energy, and my love and support to the project, honey. And hey, Surface has just resurfaced. How about that? Okay.
All right now. Now we talking.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that there is the one only. This is Mr. David Pic Conley. And what I'm going to do, honey, I'm going to let you guys hear a sampling of Bossa Quintet. And if you love me, tell a friend, honey. If you hate me, tell an enemy. But do know there's one way, shape, style, form, or fashion. This thing here that I'm doing will move forward. You may finish all of your crumpets, my darlings, because the tea has been dished, and you've been dishing tea with Big Meach. Check this out.
When we go out to eat, we never agree on where to go.
I want burgers.
Pizza.
Tacos it is.
The one thing we do agree on is we all want unlimited high-speed data. That's why we switched to Metro PCS.
Stop by Metro PCS with the whole family and get 4 lines with unlimited LTE data for just $100, period. Metro PCS. Wireless. Figure it out.
Coverage not available in some areas. Requires new line. During congestion, the fraction of customers using more than 35 gigs per month may notice reduced speeds. Video streams at up to 480p. No tethering. See store for details and terms and conditions.